Mr. B XRP here, and welcome back. Happy Sunday. Hopefully it's going to be a fun day for you. I've got a great video today. I'm going to talk to you about how this upcoming week is the biggest week for XRP ever, in my opinion. And I'm going to explain it to you. Also, I've got some more information on the October 10th crash of the crypto market. We're starting to learn the truth as time goes on. And there is all kinds of crazy out there about Bitcoin. And I'm going to share some clips with you that just blow my mind. And also, I want to get into the 4-year cycle, right? So toward the end of this video, I'm going to talk about the 4-year cycle and where we're at in altcoin season and whether or not we're going to see an XRP bull run. So we're going to get into that as well. All right, so let's jump into pricing. We are bouncing back a little bit, right? It's been a tough, couple of weeks here. But we are bouncing back, so let's look at it. Right now, extreme fear is at 13. It was at 11 yesterday, so getting a little bit better. Bitcoin's at 86,698. Ethereum's at 2,839. Tether's holding comfortably at $1, and XRP's at $2.04. Just a quick reminder, guys. Bitcoin on the 1 year is down 10.66%. Ethereum's down 14.51%. XRP is up 53.02%. Keep your eye on the bigger picture, okay? Don't look at the day-to-day. That, we're good. We don't need that. This I wanted to talk about. Okay, from Michael Branch on Twitter. Franklin Templeton and Grayscale XRP ETFs are set to launch tomorrow, meaning Monday, after New York Stock Exchange approval. So look, this, in my opinion, is the biggest thing to ever happen for XRP. And what I mean by that is, you know, there is never been an institution as big as Franklin Templeton that has been behind XRP. So Canary was great. Canary was first, right? But if we look at the numbers on Canary, and I'm looking at my notes here. Oh, the numbers on Canary, their assets under management were about, let's see here. Yeah, about 280 million was their assets under management, right? Canary, Franklin Templeton is 1.7 trillion. That's with a T, trillion dollars. They are a monster, okay? So if you want to see new investors come into XRP, here they come. Franklin Templeton is an absolute monster. I believe of all of the spot XRP ETFs that have been filed, there is no larger company than Franklin Templeton. Now, certainly we're waiting for BlackRock to file one. And when BlackRock files one, BlackRock is 10 times bigger than that. BlackRock has $16 trillion assets under management. So we're waiting for BlackRock. I think that we're going to see one soon. But big week for XRP. And when we see the inflow numbers going into to Franklin Templeton's fund, it's going to be mind-blowing. So looking forward to it. All right, so this was from Coin Bureau yesterday. 65 crypto firms urge Trump for action. About 65 crypto organizations are calling on the President Trump to bypass Congress and direct federal agencies to immediately clarify digital asset regulations, right? So look, the lawmakers are moving too slow on the Clarity Act. I mean, we need to get this Clarity Act done. People need to know where they stand, what the rules of the road are. Crypto companies need to know. Investors need to know. For tax reasons, they need to know. We need to know what the rules of the road are. And crypto firms are getting impatient, and hopefully we're gonna see something here soon, because we have to know what the rules are. This is breaking. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink declares the tokenization of all assets era has begun. And he says he also urged the U.S. to speed up regulatory clarity. Here we go again. And digital asset innovation. It's happening. So look, even institutions like BlackRock are calling for lawmakers to get their butts in gear, and let's get the Clarity Act done. We need absolute clarity, because the tokenization of real assets is happening now. This is not something in the future. We're not talking about flying cars here. We're talking about today. It's happening. Okay, Tom Lee says he knows who triggered the October 10th crash. Tom says a stable coin on one exchange suddenly dropped to 65 cents due to a code error, triggering the ADL liquidations. He said he knows the people responsible, but he refuses to identify them. Boy, look at his face. I mean, oh my God. All right, so look, ADL is auto deleveraging. Let's see here. Let's learn about this actually. So ADL liquidations are auto deleveraging liquidations. They're the last resort risk management mechanism used mainly by crypto derivative exchanges like Binance, BitMEX, Bybit, etc., to protect their exchange when the insurance fund cannot cover losses. Here's clean breakdown. What ADL liquidations are: when a trader using high leverage is about to be liquidated by their account, but their account has gone so far negative, the exchange insurance can't fund or cover the losses. The platform has only one option left. It auto deleverages profitable traders on the opposite side of that position. Can you imagine if you're a trader and you have a position and they're automatically going to sell out your position? It's absolutely ridiculous. It says, in other words, someone is blowing up on one side of the trade. The loss is too big. The insurance fund can't absorb it. So the exchange forcibly reduces or closes positions of winning traders to maintain solvency. I bet traders didn't realize that when they plugged in the trade. I mean, that doesn't make sense, and that's a real problem. So look, Tom Lee is saying that there is a code error that caused it, and let me tell you, this is going to get flushed out, and it's going to have to get fixed because it can't happen again, especially when you got Wall Street coming in. They're going to have to get this fixed. So we're going to learn more over time, and let's keep our eyes on it. All right, so this is Eric Trump out there talking about Bitcoin again. So let's listen to what he had to say.
What's a great time to buy? I say this to everybody, man. I hear from people every single day. It's really expensive. Like, I want to wait till it dips down, and then when it dips down, I say, "Are you guys buying?" And well, yeah, I just want to see if it dips. This is a great time to buy Bitcoin. There's no question. Bitcoin has been the greatest asset of our time.
Okay. All right. So obviously he's speaking positively about Bitcoin. I'm not against that. I think he's right. I mean, I think the returns on Bitcoin, somebody asked me the other night, well, how about the returns on platinum and gold? And I'm like, well, compare it to the returns on Bitcoin over the last 10 years. There's absolutely no comparison. This was Jim Cramer, and I'm going to play this 30-second clip. I don't understand a thing he says about Bitcoin. I mean, this is the first of two crazy clips I'm going to play for you. I don't get where he's coming from and what he's saying.
Bitcoin doesn't get 81, and you're looking at what I regard as being the single worst moment in this decline was the moment between 330 and 430, and then Williams comes on, and then suddenly everything's fine. I don't think so.
You don't think everything's fine?
No, there's a lot of people who have to get out. Let them get out. This is not what suddenly they wave a magic wand. We always have real issues. We have issues with building out the data center unlimited. We have issues with a lot of people, the strategies that might.
His position on Bitcoin is like wherever the wind is blowing. You just never know the sincerity coming out of his mouth or lack thereof. I am just not a fan at all. Okay, this is by far, I think this is the craziest clip I've ever seen since I've been in the digital asset space for 8 years. All right, so I'm about to play it. Just listen to this.
Volatility is vitality. Bitcoin is a volatile asset. If you're going to hold the asset, you need a 4-year time horizon as minimum. A 10-year time horizon is really the right time frame. If your time horizon is less than 4 years, you should hold the credit instruments like digital credit. And if you're an equity investor in a digital equity like my company, you need that same 4 to 10-year time horizon. 4 is the short term, 10 years is the long term. And so if Bitcoin wasn't volatile, it probably wouldn't be high performance. And then our value added wouldn't be that great, right? Like, for example, I say to people, if you knew Bitcoin was going to go up 2% a month forever with no volatility, neither you nor I would be in business, because all the conventional finance investors, all the conventional journalists, they would dominate the market. Warren Buffett would own all of it, and there wouldn't be an opportunity for us. So I look at the volatility as it's a challenge, but it's also the bug is the feature. And I say to people, volatility is Satoshi's gift to the faithful. He basically gave.
Volatility is Satoshi's gift to the faithful. I mean, is that some cult sounding garbage or what? I mean, I don't disagree with him on time horizons, but that is the most cult sounding statement I've ever heard in my life, especially from a creator of an investment product that the government and all of the Bitcoin maximalists say we don't know who it is and we don't care who it is. I don't buy it.
Gave you the ability to rise to the top of your profession as an analyst, as a journalist, as a corporate operator, as an investor. And if the volatility goes away, no one cares about your opinion on any of this.
Crazy. That's just that's like a big bowl of crazy for breakfast, and you just had it. And I'm sorry that you had to listen to it, but you need to know what's going on out there. All right, so this was from Coin Bureau breaking. BTC's 4-year cycle is good, question mark. Bitwise advisor Jeff Park says a red 2025 might be exactly what the market needs. If the 4-year cycle finally breaks, it could clear the psychological limitation and set the stage for a real super cycle. All right, let's hear what their analyst has to say from Bitwise.
A third of the Bitcoin holders believe the 4-year cycle is true, and they act like the 4-year cycle is true. Well, then it doesn't really matter because they're the price setters, right? Because they control a third of the supply. And so I always have to have a little bit of room that these things can be self-fulfilling. But at the same time, like, it shouldn't. And the joke that I think now I've been having in my head is like, we're below year to date now, right, in 2025. And so as we near the end, it's possible that we're going to have a red. And in some sense, that breaks the 4-year cycle because now we have a red. And so it's a 3-year cycle. And
That'd be crazy.
a part of me thinks, man, maybe we do need this red right now so we could have the ability to unleash the super cycle for Bitcoin to come without ever having to talk about the 4-year cycle again. Because the last thing I want, honestly, is like have an up 5% year to 2025 where we close at like 98K or 99K or 100K. And that counts as a green year. So the next year, everyone's going to talk about, okay, this is the down year now. And we have to live 2026 with this harrowing weight over your head that we're actually going to have another down year.
So look, I mean, everyone's waiting to see, is this a different type? Is this a super cycle? Or are we still in the normal 4-year cycle, right? The normal 4-year cycle is the Bitcoin halving occurs. Then Bitcoin hits its all-time high. Then we see altcoin season. And that's when we see XRP have a bull run. We had some issues with XRP having a bull run with the SEC suit, right, with Ripple. But that's the way it normally works. The question is, has Bitcoin already hit its all-time high? We don't know yet. And it's going to have to play out before we know. But until it hits its all-time high, and assuming that it's going to follow the same track that it's followed in all the other cycles, the altcoin season will then begin. And that's what, everyone's waiting to see, when will the altcoin season begin? There's no guarantee it's going to happen. I mean, this could be the one time it doesn't happen, or this could be a true super cycle. It could be extended. And one of the reasons why that a lot of the analysts believe that we might be seeing a super cycle, or that the cycle may change or flatten out over time, is because now institutional money's coming in. It could be a little bit more stable that way, as opposed to the emotions of retail investors. So, and look, I hope it is, right? I hope that things stabilize a little bit more. We certainly like the volatility, but it's always been historic that Bitcoin has had drawdowns of an average of, I think, about 84% after every cycle. And I certainly don't think that conventional investors coming in to Bitcoin are going to be comfortable with that, because they just don't understand it. All right, so look, Thanksgiving is coming. You're going to be sitting around the table. You're crypto native. Your friends and your family members know it. They're going to start asking you about digital assets, right? I built a program, it's called Blockchain Bootcamp. And essentially what I did was I took my 8 years of digital asset experience, I compressed it into a 90-minute program so that anyone, a retail investor or a financial advisor, I have 2 different programs, could come in, spend an hour and a half, and get crypto fluent, understand what is crypto, starting with Bitcoin and then advancing to the other blockchains, and getting an understanding of why it's not about crypto being money. And that's not the big crux here. It's about how blockchain is going to change our lives and how everything is going to be tokenized. So what I'm going to do here is, and if you go to cryptocoachnick.com, you can see my programs. You can see all of the modules in each of my programs. And I'm going to play a piece of one of my modules here called the Bitcoin price history. And it's because this is a great way. I'm going to give you a tip in talking with your family members on how you can discuss Bitcoin. And let me see if I can play it for you right now. Okay, let's talk about the Bitcoin price history. So instead of focusing on Bitcoin's yearly highs, which often reflect speculative peaks, a more conservative approach is to study its yearly lows. So yearly lows reveal how Bitcoin's market floor has steadily risen over time. This perspective reduces the noise of short-term spikes and volatility. And by focusing on the lows, investors can see Bitcoin's long-term resilience rather than being swayed by hype or fear. And it's also important because we talked about those drawdowns, right? Those massive drawdowns. And if you keep focused on the yearly lows, the drawdowns won't be so painful if you look at it more conservatively as the yearly lows. And by the way, I just want to say this. I'm focusing on Bitcoin in the beginning of this program, and we're going to expand out of Bitcoin. So this is not a Bitcoin program, but because Bitcoin is the first, digital asset and it's the most popular, I think it's important to use it as an example. But the very same things occur with other digital assets. So look, that's just a taste of some of the things that I share in helping people learn about digital assets. If you're interested, go to cryptocoachnick.com. If you want to take it for yourself, if you're newer to digital assets, if you want to brush up your knowledge on digital assets or kind of round out your education, it's a great base foundation coming into digital assets. Or I've even set it up so that when you check out, you can check out and give it as a gift. If you want to give it to a family member, a friend, or a colleague, go to cryptocoachnick.com. And also I have a discount coupon for everyone in the XRP community. It's XRP589, XRP589. And guys, that's it for this one. If you're still here and you're new to my program, please subscribe because if you're still here, as I say each and every day, you're definitely my people. So hit the like button if you would. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Always do your own research. See you next time. Bye-bye.